Hello everyone, welcome to this course. This course is all about fundamental of basic computer. So in this complete course you will be studying about from A to Z of the computers, so that you will be covering up a large amount of computer knowledge, and also you will be learning about some practical knowledge of the softwares, or we can say the application softwares that are used in day-to-day life, such as Microsoft Excel, which is a very powerful tool used in the industries, even the Microsoft PowerPoint. So we will be working on those softwares too and giving you an in-depth knowledge of the computers. I, Jaswinder Singh, your technical trainer, will be along with you throughout the complete course. So let's start this course. Before starting this course, there are some of the major objectives that are required to be completed. So there are a number of objectives that we are going to study or we are going to complete. Okay? First, we have to know about what is a computer, right? So first, our very basic, we can say, objective is what is computer. So we will be completing this objective in this lecture only. Next, we will be talking about history of computers and generation of computers, because getting to know about the history as well as the generation is very important, because we should know from where the computer started, right? Because we should know how the technology got evolved. Then we will be talking about the classification of computers, because this is also very important. We should know where your computer is classified, how they are classified, what are the categories, on which basis these are being classified, whether they can be based on size, their functionality, or whether their performance also. Then we will be talking about the inside of a computer, because as I told you, this course is in-depth. So we will be talking about the hardware, the software, in-depth knowledge of the complete components, like what is inside of a computer, what is the RAM, how does it work. So we will be talking about that too. Then we will be talking about the features of computers, because features are also important. You should know what are the features of a computer, because without getting to know about the characteristics and the features of a computer, like what it is capable of, you should know the knowledge what your computer is capable of, right? Then what are the things to keep in mind and the factors that are affecting the performance? You have heard number of people saying that their system is not working fast, it's working very slow. So what are the major factors that are making the system slow? So we will be also covering up in this objective. So let's start with the first objective. What is a computer? So what is a computer? In layman terms, computer is just a dumb machine in which you will be just giving an input to a particular machine according to your desire, and you will be getting a desired output, right? So it is an electronic device that is used for storing, processing data, and typically in a binary form according to the instruction that are given into a variable program. So machine, we can say it is an electronic device that helps to store and process the data in a binary form. So the computer stores the data in binary form, so it is their particular language. Like we have our language, like English, Hindi, everything. So even the computer has their own language, that is, they store the data in a binary form. And it will change according to the instructions that are given by the user. Suppose our body is also like a computer only. I will be just give you an example. Like you're eating the food, okay? So just assume that your body is a computer and the food that you're giving is an input and the energy that you're getting is the output, right? You get an idea? So computer is just nothing, it is just a machine in which you get the input from the user and you get the desired output according to the user's preferences. So mainly computer have three main components. The first component is the hardware, then comes the software, and then comes the people, right? So first of all, what is in hardware? Hardware is just a tangible physical objects that are inbuilt in the computer that runs the system. For example, your hard disk that helps to store the data, even the SSDs, your RAM, your motherboard. This everything combined up creates a computer. Okay, so this is the hardware. Talking about the softwares, these are the application softwares that helps us to make the systems or to make the objects work in a great manner. For example, I want to make a presentation. So there is a particular software like Microsoft PowerPoint which helps us to create the presentations. So that are the softwares. And the third component is a very important component, that are the people, because people are the users, because according to that only the computer will be adjusting or giving the desired output. So the people or the users are very quite important. Now I will be telling you about the block diagram. So what is a block diagram? Block diagram is nothing, it will be just an architectural overview of a computer. Over here you will be just getting a basic idea about how the computer or what is the block diagram or how the workflow works over here. So you can see a block diagram over here. So over here this is the CPU, we can say, or the cabinet of a computer, right? Over here you can see these are the input devices and these are the output devices. So whenever you're giving a particular input, or we can say a particular data from an input device, it gets processed in a CPU. So your data is getting processed over here and then you're getting a desired output in any kind of a format. Whether, for example, I'm using a keyboard that is an input device, I'm writing A. So it will, in a binary or an electrical pulse form, it will be coming over here. After here, it will be giving the computer or the CPU that I got an input A from the user. So on the monitor, it will be displaying A. Okay, so this is just a block diagram. The previous example that I told you about the body system. Suppose this is our body. Right now over here we are having our body system, right? So we are taking the food inside, we are consuming the food, right? We are eating some kind of a vegetables, okay, or fruits. It gets processed in our body and we get the desired output as energy, right? So this is how the similar, we can say, the workflow of a computer is. Now let's talk about input process or the input devices. Computer's input is called data and the output obtained after processing it based on the user's instructor is called information. Okay, so it's just simple. Whatever you're inputting into a system is called data and the output that you're getting after processing it is called information. So you can see the simplest workflow of a computer over here. So first of all, you're giving an input, it is getting processed and then you're getting the output, as I told you previously. So input devices or the input process is just nothing, just you're inputting something to the computer using some keyboards or any kind of other devices. So what are the input devices that are helping us to give input to the computer? So the input devices are like the keyboard, the mouse, the joystick, the microphone, the web camera, scanners. So these are some of the examples that we can say are the input devices that helps us to give input to the computer. Talking about CPU, which is we can say the main component of a computer, or we can say the brain of a computer. CPU is nothing, just a machine, we can say, or a processor in which it helps to complete the processing. It is divided into two parts. The first part is arithmetic and logic unit, and the another part is control unit. The arithmetic and logic unit helps us to complete the arithmetic and logic operations. Talking about the control unit helps us to control the workflow of the operations, we can say. ALU is further divided into two parts. The first part is the arithmetic operations and the second part is the logical operations. So what does arithmetic means in your mind? It's strike about the mathematical equations. So in arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, differential, square roots, these kinds of calculations are done. Talking on the logical operations, signs like greater than, smaller, equal to, greater than, smaller, equal to, less than, and everything, these logical operations are done under logical. Okay, so let's see this diagram over here. This is in a simpler form. This is also a block diagram that is in the simplest form. So we have an input device. This we are having the CPU, and then we have the output unit. As I told you, the CPU is divided into two parts. One is the control unit that control the workflow or the operations that have been happening. Then we have the arithmetic and logic unit. Okay, that helps to complete the arithmetic operations. For example, I am giving the input using a keyboard to the computer that 5 plus 5. This is converted into binary form and it is passed to the computer control unit. Over here it gets to know that this is a arithmetic operation. So it will be forwarding it to arithmetic operation, and completing the operation, it is further outputted as the desired output is 10. This is how the computer or the CPU does the processing. Talking about the output unit. What is an output? As I told you, input is something, input devices are those in which the users are inputting towards the CPU. When we are giving an input, we will be always getting an output. To get that output, we need some of the output devices, right? So some of the output devices that we are having, like the monitor, we have the printer, we have, right? So it is very important to have some of the output devices. For example, I am writing A on the computer, giving an input from a keyboard. On the other side, I will be getting the result on the monitor, that is A, right? So devices like printer and visual display unit that are used to provide information to the user in desired format are called output unit. As I told you, like the output devices are the monitor, the printer, the speaker, the projector, headphones. These are some of the examples of the output devices. Okay, whenever I need to print, I will be giving a command, Control P, to give a print, and I will be getting in a hard format. So these are some of the output devices. In our next lecture, we will be talking about the characteristics of computer. So you don't need to worry about if there are some of the technical terms that you don't understand. Don't worry. In our next lecture, we will be talking about in depth so that you will be getting everything clear. Thank you.